Hey coin lovers! Welcome to the Worth Old Coins channel, your place to discover the hidden value and rare facts about old coins. In today's video we're revealing the top 6 valuable coins, and one of them might just be in your collection. So don't skip this video, let's find out their real worth. Top 1. The British 2p coin is part of the decimal system introduced on February 15, 1971. When the United Kingdom replaced the old pound shillings pence currency with a modern decimal pound, by 1993 Queen Elizabeth II had been on the throne for more than 40 years, and the Royal Mint continued to strike large numbers of 2p coins for daily commerce. Economically, Britain was emerging from an early 1990s recession, and cost-saving measures at the mint, including a shift in the metal composition, make the 1993 issue especially noteworthy in the history of modern British coinage. Change of metal and basic specifications. Until mid-1992, all 2p coins were struck in bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin. Rising copper prices forced the Royal Mint to adopt copper-plated steel, and the 1993 date was one of the first full years struck entirely on this new magnetic planchet. The coin retains the same physical standards set in 1971: 25.91 mm in diameter, 7.12 grams in weight, and 1.85 mm thick, with a plain edge. Collectors sometimes test a 1993 coin with a small magnet if it is attracted. It is the common steel type. A non-magnetic bronze example would be a rare and valuable error. Obverse design. The obverse carries the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by sculptor Raphael Maclauf and used from 1985 until 1997. In this likeness, the Queen faces right and wears the George IV state diadem, a diamond-studded crown traditionally worn at the state opening of Parliament. Around the portrait runs the Latin legend Elizabeth II D.G. Reg. F.D. 1993, an abbreviation of De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Maclauf's discrete initials RDM appear at the base of the neck. Reverse design. The reverse, created by Christopher Ironside for the 1971 decimal series, features the badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers rising from a coronet, with the German motto Ich diene, I serve, on a ribbon beneath. Encircling this heraldic emblem is the denomination spelled out as 2p. This reverse remained unchanged until the Royal Mint's major redesign in 2008, making the 1993 coin part of the long and familiar pre-2008 style. Minting and circulation. The Royal Mint at Llantrisant, Wales, struck hundreds of millions of 1993 dated 2p coins for circulation, so regular pieces are common throughout the United Kingdom and remain plentiful in everyday change. Collector versions were also produced, brilliant uncirculated (BU) coins packaged in annual mint sets and proof strikes for deluxe proof sets, both of which were struck with extra care and polished dies for superior detail and mirror-like fields. 6. Collecting notes and varieties. Because of the huge mintage, ordinary 1993 coins generally trade for face value 2p sterling when circulated. Points of collector interest include brilliant uncirculated or proof pieces, which retain full red copper color and crisp detail. High-grade copper-plated steel coins certified MS 66 or higher, which brings small premiums. Bronze planchet errors, extremely rare non-magnetic pieces believed to be struck on leftover bronze blanks from 1992. These can command hundreds of pounds when authenticated. Care and preservation. To maintain its original appearance, handle a 1993 2p coin only by the edges and avoid cleaning, which can scratch the thin copper plating. Store the coin in an inert holder such as a mylar flip or hard acrylic capsule and keep it in a cool, dry environment to reduce the risk of oxidation or spotting on the copper surface. Numismatic significance. The Elizabeth II 2p 1993 is more than a routine pocket change coin. It illustrates the Royal Mint's early 1990s transition from bronze to copper-plated steel, a practical response to global metal prices. It also stands as a mid-reign memento of Queen Elizabeth II, bearing Raphael Maclauf's dignified diadem portrait and Christopher Ironside's classic reverse designs that defined British decimal coinage for decades. Summary. The 1993 2p coin of the United Kingdom is a copper-plated steel decimal piece, 25.91 mm in diameter and 7.12 g in weight, with a plain-edged IT. Features Elizabeth II's third portrait obverse by Raphael Maclauf and the Prince of Wales badge reverse by Christopher Ironside. Struck in vast numbers yet significant for marking the full adoption of copper-plated steel, it remains a staple for collectors of modern British coinage, with rare bronze planchet errors providing an exciting challenge for specialists. Top 2. The 2p, 2p Coin belongs to the decimal currency system that the United Kingdom introduced on 15 February 1971 BY 1999. Queen Elizabeth II had reigned for nearly half a century, and the decimal system was well established. The country was enjoying a period of economic growth at the close of the 20th century, and the Royal Mint continued to strike billions of base metal coins for everyday use. The 1999 issue therefore represents both the stability of modern British coinage and the enduring symbolism of the monarch's long reign. 2. Composition and physical specifications. Since mid-1992, the Royal Mint has struck circulating 2p coins on copper-plated steel planchets rather than the earlier bronze alloy, a cost-saving measure prompted by rising copper prices. The 1999 2p follows this standard. Each coin weighs 7.12 grams, measures 25.91 millimeters in diameter, and is about 1.85 millimeters thick, with a plain edge. The copper-plated steel gives the coin a bright red color when new and a slight magnetic response, which collectors can test with a small magnet. Although composition changed, outward appearance remains virtually identical to the older bronze issues. Obverse design. The obverse bears the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II created by sculptor Raphael Maclauff and used on United Kingdom coins from 1985 until 1997 but retained on the 2p until a later portrait was introduced in 1998 to 1999 across some denominations. Many 1999 2p coins still carry Maclauff's elegant design showing the Queen facing right and wearing the George IV state diadem, a jeweled crown traditionally worn for the state opening of Parliament. Around the bust runs the Latin inscription Elizabeth II D.G. Reg. FAD 1999, which expands to Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning Elizabeth. 2. By the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The initials RDM of Raphael David Maclauff appear subtly at the base of the neck. Reverse design. The reverse continues the classic 1971 design by Christopher Ironside, featuring the heraldic badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, with the motto ICH Dien, I serve, on a ribbon below. The denomination 2p arcs around the design. This reverse was a mainstay of British coinage for nearly 4 decades, finally replaced only in 2008 by the Royal Shield design. Mintage and production. The Royal Mint at Llantrisant, Wales, struck hundreds of millions of 2p coins dated 1999 for circulation. Exact figures exceed 400 million pieces, ensuring that the coin remains common in pocket change today. In addition to circulation strikes, the Mint produced brilliant uncirculated BU coins for collector sets and proof versions with polished dies and mirror-like fields for deluxe proof sets. Collecting considerations. Because of the enormous mintage, a typical 1999 2p found in circulation is worth face value 2p sterling. Collectors, however, look for special qualities: brilliant uncirculated or proof coins with flawless luster, high-grade copper-plated steel coins certified MS66 or MS67, which brings small premiums. Any off-metal or mis-struck examples, such as coins accidentally struck on older bronze planchets, which would be non-magnetic and potentially worth hundreds of pounds. Preservation and care. Copper-plated steel can darken or spot if exposed to moisture, so careful storage matters. Handle the coin only by its edges, never polish or clean it, and keep it in an inert holder. Mylar flips or hard acrylic capsules work well. A dry, stable environment helps preserve the coin's original reddish glow. Numismatic significance. The Elizabeth II 2p 1999 stands as a late 20th century representative of Britain's modern coinage. It reflects the continuing use of copper-plated steel planchets introduced earlier in the decade, the enduring appeal of Christopher Ironside's reverse design, and the longevity of Queen Elizabeth II's reign as the nation approached a new millennium. While common in everyday commerce, it remains an essential date for collectors assembling a complete run of United Kingdom decimal 2p coins or studying the subtle production changes of the era. Summary. The 1999 United Kingdom 2p coin is a copper-plated steel decimal piece, 25.91 mm in diameter and 7.12 g in weight, featuring Raphael Maclauff's third portrait obverse of Queen Elizabeth II and Christopher Ironside's classic Prince of Wales badge reverse. Struck in vast numbers for circulation but also available in proof and brilliant uncirculated forms, it exemplifies the stable, cost-efficient British coinage of the late 1990s and remains a staple of modern UK numismatic collections. Top 3. The British 2p coin is part of the decimal currency system introduced on February 15, 1971, when the United Kingdom abandoned the old pound shillings pence structure in favor of the modern decimal pound. By 1990, Queen Elizabeth II had reigned for nearly 4 decades, and the decimal coinage was a familiar part of everyday life. Economically, Britain was in a period of transition as the Thatcher era drew to a close and the early 1990s recession loomed. Against this backdrop, the Royal Mint continued to strike huge quantities of base metal coins to meet the demands of daily commerce, including the now classic 2p piece. Metal and physical specifications. All 1992 pence coins were struck in the traditional bronze alloy of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, the same composition used since the denomination's 1971 debut. They weigh 7.12 grams, measure 25.91 millimeters in diameter, and are about 1.85 millimeters thick, with a plain, smooth edge. This bronze standard would remain until mid-1992, when rising copper prices forced a change to copper-plated steel. Because 1990 predates that shift, every circulation strike of this date is the heavier, non-magnetic bronze type. Obverse design. The obverse bears the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Raphael Maclauff and introduced across UK coinage in 1985, and this elegant effigy the Queen faces right, wearing the ornate George IV state diadem, a jeweled crown traditionally used for the state opening of Parliament. Around the bust runs the Latin legend Elizabeth II D.G. Reg. F.A.D. 1990, which expands to Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Maclauff's discrete initials, RDM, appear at the base of the neck. Reverse design. The reverse features the original 1971 decimal design by Christopher Ironside, the heraldic badge of the Prince of Wales, composed of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, with the German motto Ich diene, I serve, on a ribbon beneath. The surrounding inscription reads 2 pence. This classic layout would remain unchanged until the Royal Mint introduced the Royal Shield reverse in 2008, making the 1990 issue part of a long-running, pre-Shield series. Mintage and production. The Royal Mint at Llantrisant, Wales, struck hundreds of millions of 2 pence coins dated 1990 for circulation, ensuring their wide availability. Exact figures exceed 400 million pieces, meaning the date is common in everyday change even decades later. In addition to circulation strikes, the Mint produced brilliant uncirculated BU coins packaged in annual mint sets and proof issues struck with polished dies for collectors, each displaying exceptional detail and mirror-like fields. Collecting notes. Because of the immense mintage, a standard 1992p found in circulation is worth face value 2 pence sterling. Collectors, however, look for proof coins from 1990 proof sets prized for their deep cameo finish. Brilliant uncirculated examples with full original red luster to high-grade business strikes, which can bring small premiums when certified MS-66 or higher off-metal errors, for example, a coin accidentally struck on a wrong planchet, which are rare and can command substantial sums if authenticated. Preservation and care. Bronze coins can develop attractive chocolate brown toning or, if poorly stored, unwanted verdigris. Keep a 1992 pence in top condition, handle it only by the edges, avoid cleaning or polishing, and store it in an inert holder such as a mylar flip or hard acrylic capsule in a cool, dry place. Numismatic significance. The Elizabeth II 2 pence 1990 is a representative late 20th century bronze decimal coin. It marks the end of an era, standing just 2 years before the Royal Mint abandoned solid bronze for copper-plated steel. It also showcases the popular Maclauff portrait and the long-lived Ironside reverse that defined British small change for nearly 4 decades. While common in everyday grades, it remains an essential date for anyone assembling a complete set of pre-steel 2 pence coins or studying the evolution of Britain's modern currency. Summary. The 1990 United Kingdom 2 pence coin is a bronze decimal piece weighing 7.12 g and measuring 25.91 millimeters, featuring Queen Elizabeth II's third portrait obverse by Raphael Maclauff and the Prince of Wales badge reverse by Christopher Ironside. Struck in vast numbers but still entirely bronze and non-magnetic, it captures the final phase of Britain's traditional bronze coinage and remains a staple for collectors of modern UK numismatics. Top 4. The 2003 United Kingdom 2 pence coin belongs to the long-running decimal coinage system that replaced the old pound shillings pence structure in 1971 BY. 2003 Queen Elizabeth II had reigned for more than half a century, and Britain's decimal coins were a well-established part of everyday commerce. The early 2000s economy was marked by steady growth and the adoption of modern minting technology at the Royal Mint's Llantrisant facility in Wales. Against this backdrop, huge numbers of base metal coins were produced for daily transactions, including the familiar 2p piece. 2. Composition and physical characteristics. All circulation strike 2 pence coins dated 2003 were struck in copper-plated steel, a composition adopted in mid-1992 when rising copper prices made solid bronze impractical. Each coin weighs 7.12 grams, measures 25.91 millimeters in diameter, and is about 1.85 millimeters thick with a plain smooth edge. Because of the steel core, a 2003 2P is magnetic, unlike the pre-1992 bronze issues. The thin copper coating gives the familiar reddish appearance but with the strength and cost savings of a steel planchet. Obverse design. The obverse displays the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II created by sculptor Ian Rank-Broadley and introduced across UK coinage in 1998, and this effigy, the Queen faces right, wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Rank-Broadley's design is known for its realistic, mature depiction of the monarch and for a larger, bolder bust than previous portraits. Around the rim appears the Latin legend Elizabeth II D.G. Reg. F.A.D. 2003, an abbreviation of Dei Gratia. Regina Fidei Defensor, translating to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. The sculptor's initials, IRB, are located just beneath the neckline. Reverse design. The reverse retains the classic 1971 design by Christopher Ironside, the heraldic badge of the Prince of Wales, featuring 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, with the German motto Ich diene, I serve, on a ribbon beneath. The denomination 2 pence arcs around the upper rim. This design remained unchanged until the introduction of the Royal Shield series in 2008, making the 2003 issue part of the long-running pre-Shield set. Mintage and varieties. The Royal Mint struck hundreds of millions of 2p coins dated 2003 for circulation, ensuring that examples are plentiful. In addition to standard circulation strikes, the Mint produced brilliant uncirculated BU coins for annual mint sets and proof coins in both standard and silver proof collections, all struck with polished dies to achieve exceptional detail and mirror-like fields. No major design varieties are recorded for this date, but collectors sometimes search for off-metal errors or striking anomalies such as double strikes or broad strikes, which are rare and carry strong premiums when authenticated. Collecting and value. Because of the immense mintage, a typical 2003 2 pence coin found in circulation is worth only face value 2 pence sterling. However, proof coins and brilliant uncirculated examples from official Royal Mint sets can bring small premiums, particularly when graded at the highest levels, for example, MS 67 or Proof 69/70. Coins showing full original red luster or dramatic minting errors are the most sought after by specialists. Care and preservation. Copper-plated steel coins can develop attractive rainbow or chocolate brown toning but are also susceptible to spots and corrosion if stored in damp conditions. Preserve a 2003 2p coin, handle it only by the edges, avoid cleaning or polishing, and store it in an inert mylar flip or hard acrylic capsule in a cool, dry environment to protect the thin copper layer. Numismatic significance. The Elizabeth II 2 pence 2003 stands as a representative of Britain's early 21st century coinage. A cost-efficient copper-plated steel planchet, the bold Rank-Broadley portrait, and the enduring Ironside reverse. While not rare, it is an important link in a continuous series that spans from the solid bronze issues of 1971 through the major design change of 2008. Collectors who build complete date sets of pre-Shield 2 pence coins include the 2003 example as a key piece from the modern era of the Queen's reign. Summary. The 2003 UK 2 pence coin is a copper-plated steel decimal piece weighing 7.12 g and measuring 25.91 mm, featuring Queen Elizabeth II's fourth portrait obverse by Ian Rank-Broadley and the Prince of Wales badge reverse by Christopher Ironside. Struck in enormous numbers but valued by collectors in proof or high-grade condition. It reflects both the technological efficiency and the artistic continuity of Britain's coinage at the start of the 21st century. Top 5. The British 2 pence coin is part of the decimal currency introduced on February 15, 1971, when the United Kingdom moved from pounds, shillings, pence to the modern pound, divided into 100 new pence by 1989. Queen Elizabeth II had already celebrated the 37th year of her reign, and decimal coinage had been circulating for nearly 2 decades. Britain at the time was in the closing years of the Thatcher government, and the Royal Mint continued to produce large quantities of base metal coins to satisfy everyday commerce. The 1989 2p stands squarely in this mature period of the decimal series, before the later metal change to copper-plated steel in 1992. Metal and physical specifications. All 1989 2 pence coins were struck in the traditional bronze alloy of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, giving them their rich reddish-brown appearance and non-magnetic character. Each coin weighs 7.12 grams, measures 25.91 millimeters in diameter, and is about 1.85 millimeters thick, with a plain, smooth edge. Because the Royal Mint did not change these specifications until mid-1992. The 1989 issue belongs to the classic solid bronze era prized by collectors. Obverse design. The obverse carries the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Raphael Maclauf and used on UK coinage from 1985 through 1997. This elegant effigy shows the Queen facing right and wearing the ornate George IV state diadem. The diamond crown traditionally worn for the state opening of Parliament around the rim appears the Latin legend Elizabeth II D.G. Reg. FOD 1989, which expands to Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God Queen. Defender of the Faith. Maclauf's discrete initials RDM can be found at the base of the neck. Reverse design. The reverse retains Christopher Ironside's original 1971 design. The badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers rising from a coronet with the motto ICH Dien, I serve, on a ribbon below. The words 2 pence curve around the upper perimeter. This reverse remained unchanged until the introduction of the Royal Shield design in 2008, making the 1989 coin part of the long-running pre-Shield series. Mintage and minting details. The Royal Mint at Llantrisant, Wales produced hundreds of millions of 2p coins dated 1989 for circulation, ensuring wide availability. Exact mintage exceeded 300 million pieces, meaning ordinary examples are common. Alongside circulation strikes, the Mint also issued brilliant uncirculated BU coins for annual mint sets and proof coins for collectors, all struck with carefully polished dies to achieve sharp details and mirror-like fields. Collecting notes and value. Because of its enormous mintage, a standard 1989 2 pence found in change is generally worth face value 2 pence sterling. Collectors, however, may pay small premiums for proof coins from the official proof sets prized for their deep cameo finish. Brilliant uncirculated examples retaining full original red luster. Certified high-grade business strikes, MS 66 or higher, rare minting errors such as off-metal strikes or dramatic double strikes, which, when authenticated, can command strong prices. Preservation and care. Solid bronze coins develop natural toning that can range from warm chocolate brown to subtle iridescent hues. Preserve a 1989 2p in top condition, handle it only by the edges, avoid cleaning or polishing, and store it in an inert holder such as a mylar flip or hard acrylic capsule in a cool, dry environment. Numismatic significance. The Elizabeth II 2 pence 1989 is a classic late 20th century British bronze coin. It represents the stable, mature phase of the decimal system and the popular Maclauf portrait, bridging the period between the introduction of decimal coinage in 1971 and the cost-driven metal change of 1992. Although common in circulation, it remains an essential piece for anyone assembling a complete date set of pre-steel 2 pence coins or studying the evolution of Britain's modern currency. Summary. The 1989 UK 2 pence coin is a solid bronze decimal issue weighing 7.12 g and measuring 25.91 mm, featuring Queen Elizabeth II's third portrait obverse by Raphael Maclauf and the Prince of Wales badge reverse by Christopher Ironside. Struck in vast numbers but valued by collectors in high-grade or proof form, it captures the enduring design and traditional bronze composition of British coinage just before the early 1990s shift to copper-plated steel. Top 6. The 2 pence coin is part of the decimal currency system that the United Kingdom adopted on 15 February 1971, when Britain replaced the centuries-old pounds, shillings, pence system with a modern pound divided into 100 new pence. By 1975, the decimal system was still fairly new, and the Royal Mint was striking large numbers of the lower denominations to ensure adequate supplies for everyday trade. Queen Elizabeth II had already passed the first quarter-century of her reign, and the nation was emerging from the economic turbulence of the early 1970s, including the 3-day workweek and inflationary pressures. The 1975 2 pence therefore belongs to the formative years of modern British coinage, metal and specifications. The 1975 2p was struck in the classic solid bronze alloy of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, giving it the rich reddish-brown appearance typical of early decimal coins and making it non-magnetic. Each piece weighs 7.12 grams, measures 25.91 millimeters in diameter, and is roughly 1.85 millimeters thick, with a plain, smooth edge. These specifications remained unchanged until 1992, when the Royal Mint shifted to copper-plated steel to reduce production costs. Obverse design. The obverse features the second definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by sculptor Arnold McKinn and used on UK coinage from 1968 through 1984. In this effigy, the Queen faces right and wears the delicate girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a gift from her grandmother, Queen Mary. Around the portrait runs the Latin legend Elizabeth II D.G. Reg. F.A.D. 1975, an abbreviation of Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, translating to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen Defender of the Faith. The artist's initials, A.M., appear at the truncation of the neck. Reverse design. The reverse carries Christopher Ironside's original 1971 decimal design, the heraldic badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers. Rising from a coronet, with the German motto Ich diene, I serve, displayed on a ribbon below. The words 2 pence encircle the upper perimeter. This design remained the standard for all circulation 2p coins until the Royal Mint introduced the Royal Shield reverse in 2008. Mintage and minting details. The Royal Mint at Llantrisant, Wales, struck a very large number of 2p coins in 1975, well over 100 million pieces, to meet the needs of a public still adjusting to decimal currency. Alongside these business strike coins, the Mint produced limited proof coins packaged in that year's official proof sets, distinguished by polished dies and a mirror-like finish. Brilliant uncirculated (BU) specimens were also prepared for collectors in mint sets. Collecting and value. Because of the enormous mintage, a circulated 1975 2-pence coin generally trades for face value 2-pence sterling. Collectors, however, seek proof issues, prized for their deep cameo contrast. Brilliant uncirculated examples with full original red luster. Certified high-grade business strikes, MS 65 or higher, which can command small premiums. Minting errors such as off-metal strikes or double strikes, which are rare and can bring strong prices when authenticated. Preservation and care. Solid bronze coins naturally tone over time, developing chocolate brown or even rainbow hues. Maintain value. Handle the coin only by its edges, avoid cleaning or polishing, which can damage the surface and reduce collectability, and store it in a dry, inert holder such as a mylar flip or hard acrylic capsule. Numismatic significance. The Elizabeth II 2-pence 1975 stands as a classic early decimal British coin, combining Arnold Mackin's youthful portrait of the Queen with Christopher Ironside's heraldic reverse and the traditional solid bronze composition. It represents the formative years of the United Kingdom's decimal currency and serves as an essential piece for collectors assembling a full-date set of pre-steel 2-pence coins or studying the evolution of modern British money. Summary. The 1975 UK 2-pence coin is a solid bronze decimal issue weighing 7.12 g and measuring 25.91 millimeters, featuring Queen Elizabeth II portrait obverse by Arnold Mackin and the Prince of Wales badge reverse by Christopher Ironside. Struck in very large numbers but prized in high-grade or proof form, it remains a key representative of the first generation of Britain's decimal coinage and a tangible link to the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's modern currency system. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.